Episode 10 of the Joe Zone. This is Jack Death reporting. I will not have any on-camera appearance tonight, so stand by for Joe Zone, Episode 10. Another bunch of Biden's lies. The Joe Zone.
You walk into this room at your own risk, because it leads to the future. Not a future that will be, but one that might be. This is not a new world. It is simply an extension of what began in the old one. It has patterned itself after every dictator who has ever planted the ripping imprint of a boot on the pages of history since the beginning of time. It has refinements, technological advances, and a more sophisticated approach to the destruction of human freedom. But like every one of the superstates that preceded it, it has one iron rule. Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace. Any state, any entity, any ideology that fails to recognize the worth, the dignity, the rights of man, that state is obsolete.
And President Trump's going to be in Pennsylvania, where local union leaders are calling out Joe Biden for claiming to have received their endorsement when they say he has not. Watch this.
A member of the Boilermakers Local 154, Sean Stephanie, was quoted in the New York Times today saying, "You can't have it both ways." He says you can't meet your goal to end fossil fuels without ending. Like Sean, who doubt your denial because they think you want to keep that promise.
Tell them the Boilermakers overwhelmingly endorsed me, okay? So the Boilermakers unions endorsed me because I sat down with them and went into great detail with the leadership exactly what I would do.
Odd, because the Boilermakers Local 154 says that that is not true and that they actually endorsed President Trump. So joining me now is the man who was mentioned in that exchange, Sean Stephanie, Boilermakers Local 154 Executive Board Trustee. Sean, thanks for being here tonight. So how did you become aware of that exchange? Were you watching it when it happened? And what went through your mind?
First, Martha, thanks for having me on the show. And I was at another political function, and my phone started going off, and I wasn't sure what was going on. And then I realized what happened. I could not believe what I was hearing, because I'm our political chair on our lead committee, and I know that I was at the Latrobe rally with my business manager, John Hughes, and 100 members when we gave President Donald Trump our endorsement out of Local 154 in Pittsburgh.
That he sat down with the Boilermakers. Could it be another Boilermaker group in Pennsylvania that is separate from yours?
Could not tell you. I know he did not sit down with Local 154. I know that Local 237 in Connecticut, business manager Chris O'Neill endorsed President Trump, and Local 28 in New Jersey, James Chu endorsed Trump. Other than that, I don't know anyone else that is endorsed candidate Biden.
So have you reached out to them to clarify this, or did they reach out to you to get did you ask for an apology, a retraction, a correction?
No, we would just like to know who he talked to, because he sure didn't talk to any of us. And I know we talked to President Trump's staff members, and moving forward when we gave our endorsement to him.
All right. Well, I'm going to play this because I think this is a little bit based on what you said, at the heart of some of the decisions that have been made by unions like yourselves. This is a back and forth with Biden and Harris on the issue of fracking, which is obviously of great significance in Western Pennsylvania.
place for fossil fuels, including coal and fracking, in a Biden administration?
No, we would work it out. We would make sure it's eliminated and no more subsidies for either one of those.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
I make it clear I do not propose banning fracking.
Joe Biden will not ban fracking. That is a fact.
So, I mean, that's a little confusing. Let me ask you one more question before I let you go, sir. What's your sense of Pennsylvania? Right now, the former Vice President Joe Biden is polling slightly ahead in Pennsylvania. What's your feel on the ground there?
Well, Martha, I drive all over Western Pennsylvania, and I live in rural Pennsylvania, and I mean, if any indication is like signs that you're seeing on houses, I don't see how President Trump is behind. I just don't see it, but I mean, I'm not a, political analyst. I'm not an environmentalist. I know a Boilermaker, and the Boilermakers want to move forward in this country and bring back our jobs in the manufacturing sector, and it's going to take a good electricity, fossil fuels that make this happen, and we're ready to do that. And I mean, moving forward, this is what everybody politically needs to figure out, because if you would just ask all these political figures that want the Green New Deal, every one of them enjoys the luxury of fossil fuels. They enjoy it because their whole life depends on it. Every day when they wake up and hit the light switch, it's because of fossil fuels. From their makeup to their clothing to their vehicles to the tires on their cars to their shoes to antibiotics, medications, PPE, everything is derived from fossil fuels in the natural gas industry. So what are we doing? Let's move forward. Let's go.
All right. Sean Steffi, sir, thank you very much. Great to talk to you tonight, and we wish.
Did you know? When did you know it? Did you take a cut of your son's CD International pay-for-play schemes? I know it's 9 p.m. Eastern, Joe, but if you're still awake, we have a camera right outside of your house, right there, right now. You can walk outside your house, leave your basement bunker. Feel free to step out, answer any of these pressing questions, and we will be more than happy to hear you out. Now, of course, we'll have a lot more on this huge bombshell development coming up. Whether or not Joe steps up to the mic is anybody's guess.
Not coming out.
Make no mistake, tonight the president is gainfully struggling Joe Biden, who's still hiding in his basement bunker like he has all summer. He's now continuing an incredibly light schedule through September, calling a pre-noon lid on campaign. Well, he's off Monday, yesterday, today, tomorrow, and Thursday until the debate. That means with 2 weeks to go until this election, the cognitively struggling former vice president is pretty much taking off 5 out of the last 6 days. We don't expect to see Joe Biden again in public. That laptop are not part of a Russian disinformation campaign. And once again, the congenital liar, Adam Schiff, and other top Democrats are literally full of it. They're lying to our faces about Russia yet again. The only Russian interference in 2016 was Hillary Clinton and her bought and paid for Russian disinformation dossier that was never verifiable. The source was a known Russian intelligence official for a decade to our FBI, and by the way, said none of it was true. Take a look.
Just ahead, I'll speak live with Congressman Adam Schiff about a new probe into a potential Russian disinformation campaign targeting Joe Biden and his son Hunter.
But clearly, the origins of this whole smear are from the Kremlin, and the president is only too happy to have Kremlin help in trying to amplify it.
To say that there's no evidence that somehow these emails and text messages or this hard drive is part of a potentially a Russian disinformation campaign doesn't make any sense to me.
This looks like Russian intelligence. This walks like Russian intelligence. This talks like Russian intelligence. Now we...
Biden said, I have never discussed with my son or anyone else ending any of their businesses. Period.
That's a lie. Emails show Joe Biden met with Hunter's Ukrainian business associate, and Hunter sought millions of dollars from a Chinese energy company for his family, including the big guy. This is a smoking gun. Joe Biden sold America out to make his family rich. Don't let him do it again.
Lying. They lied for 3 years. Now we know the emails and documents detailing Joe and Hunter's public corruption scheme might be, in fact, legitimate. We already know some of it was. We have Joe Biden on tape bragging, you're not getting the $1 billion unless you fire the prosecutor investigating my son being paid millions with no experience. Now, this also includes a 2017 email thread discussing a payout from a Chinese investment firm with, quote, equity distributions to, quote, H, which is likely Hunter Biden, and more equity held by H for the big guy. Fox News reporting that the big guy is a reference to Joe Biden. Remember, Hunter Biden began wheeling and dealing with well-connected Chinese nationals 10 days after he was on Air Force Two with his dad. So, Joe, the question you should be answering tonight is, why would you allow your son with no experience in private equity, just like no experience in gas or oil or energy or Ukraine or Russia or Kazakhstan or China, to be cashing in time and time again on your name and putting you in a compromising position? Did you get a cut of your son with zero experience in the millions that he made in these investment deals, like in China, that were stuck, by the way? All these were struck when you were vice president. What about the shopping spree that we now know, thanks to the Grassley and Johnson memo, courtesy of a Chinese national? What about the money you made, the millions from Burisma Holdings? What about the millions you made from the Russian oligarch, the First Lady of Moscow? What about the money that Hunter's firm received from a Kazakh oligarch that is in the Johnson and Grassley report? Because also breaking tonight, look at your screen. This picture obtained by the New York Post allegedly shows Joe and Hunter alongside that very same Kazakh oligarch who wired Hunter Biden and his firm $142 grand earmarked for a brand new car. And now Fox News cannot independently verify the photograph, but guess what? Joe says he never spoke to his son about his overseas business dealings, and there are business dealings. So, Joe, could you care to explain the picture? And according to the Johnson-Grassley Senate report, zero experience Hunter was paid at least $10 million from these foreign nationals while his father was vice president, with millions more in equity, which eventually he will get. Let's be clear, Hunter Biden is not an investment genius with a sought-after resume. He's not Goldman Sachs, he's not Deutsche Bank. And according to the New Yorker, Hunter is a longtime drug addict with a very serious personal issue involving that. He wasn't selling foreign oligarchs a genius investment strategy that they couldn't get elsewhere. He was likely selling access to his father and special treatment from his father in the Obama administration. So tonight, serious questions. Did the former vice president profit in any way, and did he lie when he said he knew nothing about it? Did he coordinate with Hunter on any of these deals? And was U.S. foreign policy compromised as a result? Again, Joe...
Absolutely no question. Well, that's the Joe Zone for tonight. I just came across something else that I'm going to post to the Majestic 12, and we'll move forward from there. Have a great evening, folks. Remember, all lives matter. Trump 2020.